guys, welcome back to another video, and we have some more Jurassic World survival toys, some images revealed, and two more rumored creatures. And I'm definitely a little bit fishy at some of the, like, a little bit suspicious of some of these rumors, though I think there is a way that they could possibly work and fit in with the other figures that we have somewhat revealed and rumored. Like the last video I did, I covered a bunch of creatures that have been rumored. Honestly, I really hope that those guys are releasing, and these two new ones are interesting. But anyways, let's jump into this. Starting off, we have images of the second wave of frenzy packs, which I find this very interesting. We have again, we're going to go through them one by one. First, we have the Furrow Draco, which again is probably is actually the only one I've considered good from this second wave. In fact, I'd say the other two are, the other three are absolute garbage. But yeah, the Furrow Draco I actually think looks pretty nice. I know it's a bit stylized, but still, I think it's pretty good, pretty simple. Honestly, weird that these frenzy packs have one good figure and then the other three absolutely suck. I hope this trend does not continue, since there are some species I'm really hoping to see. Like, I think Champsosaurus is like, I know that we do have a few other ones. I can't remember what all of the frenzy packs are, but like out of the ones we still have left to release, I'm hoping Spectrovinator and Champsosaurus are good at least. All the other ones would be disappointing if they sucked, but like, I mean, those are really the main ones that I still hope are really good. But yeah, Furrow Draco I think is pretty interesting. Again, really weird species choice. No Anhanguera. Again, I feel like Ornithochirus re-release would actually be warranted to give it a more accurate sculpt, like at least give it teeth. Or no Tropiognathus or anything, but Furrow Draco, I feel like, I don't know why Mattel are going for the obscure Australian pterosaurs. I mean, I'm not complaining, but just kind of interesting. Again, only good one. Now we move on to Skelelitazor. This thing is absolute garbage. This is literally just a reskin of the Jackapil. I was kind of worried this figure would just be a reskin of Jackapil, and unfortunately it is. This thing is just the worst. The head sculpt was already kind of weird for Skelelitasaurus, but then the rest of the body is, again, just horrible. I already thought the Jackapil figure sucked, personally. Like, I always thought, like, I don't know, again, how other people thought of the Jackapil figure, but I always thought it was horrible. First thing, it was really big. Like, it was just a regular frenzy pack figure, while Stegoros, a actually considerably larger but still really small dinosaur, was one of the smaller, like, 2-pack creatures, which I don't know why Jackapil wasn't one of those. Also, can Mattel bring back those small 2-packs? I think those were really cool. It just gives, like, more size diversity. But anyways, yeah. I just feel like that worked, and the Jackapil, just sculpt-wise, didn't look like a Jackapil at all. It was just a bipedal armored animal, and frankly, again, it just had, like, no character traits of Jackapil. This Skelelitasaurus is just a reskin of that. Skelelitasaurus is a really unique-looking dinosaur, and this looks literally nothing like it. It's just a generic bipedal dinosaur with spikes all over him. At the very least, the Jackapil, like, it looked like, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but, like, it looked horrible, but at the same time, at least it was somewhat visually pleasing. This looks horrible, also looks nothing like the creature, and also is visually horrible. So, yeah, really sucks. Especially since it's Skelelitasaurus, a creature that we've been, like, honestly, I think quite a few people have been waiting for quite a bit. But yeah, next we have the Velociraptor. I like the Rebirth Velociraptor, but this is just a re-release of the Rebirth figure we got, and frankly, I thought that figure sucked. Like, I think the color scheme was really good, and they based it off of a really good raptor design, just I think the actual figure itself sucks. Mattel, you're making a million different Velociraptors, but you can't even make a new good sculpt for one. Frankly, I feel like there's just a lot of proportional issues with this one. It's sculpt-wise, it just doesn't look right. Like, easily one of the worst Rebirth figures. But, yeah, this Velociraptor, again, I honestly really do like the Rebirth Raptor and wish it actually looked good, but this doesn't. So, yeah, really disappointing this guy's getting a re-release. It's not even like a repaint or anything. It's just the same Rebirth Raptor sculpt, so. I mean, the same exact Rebirth Raptor figure we've already had released 2 other times, so, yeah. Next, we have Plesiosaurus. This one confuses me, and it may be confusing you as well, considering how, you know, Plesiosaurus already is a Wave 1 creature, so why is it being released in Wave 2? And it's not like a creature that we suspected are a Wave 1, or it's kind of been shown to be a Wave 1. But no, like, this figure is like, there's been a few survival figures that have been found at stores, and Wave 1 of the Frenzy Packs have been found, and Plesiosaurus was found with them. Literally, I've seen 2 people to find the full, like, first wave of Frenzy Packs, and they both have Plesiosaurus in there. And there's also, again, there's a lot of creatures in the Frenzy Pack that are yet to be, like, released. But it's like, are we getting, like, a re-release of the Plesiosaurus figure? Or are we going to be, like, honestly, I don't even know. This is just kind of weird. The survival line so far is really weird since, again, a lot of these are rumored creatures, but if they are true, then this lineup has more creatures than Mattel typically releases, which, again, I don't think is impossible considering we didn't get a full, like, we only got 2 waves of the Rebirth line, which is, again, also really weird why we didn't get more waves of Rebirth. We only got 2 instead of the typical 3, so perhaps they're compensating. Like, if I had to guess, at least from what I heard, Rebirth had a lower budget for marketing, so perhaps they didn't have the budget to actually do it, but since Rebirth did well, they're like, okay, we can kind of compensate with this next lineup. So yeah, anyways. Especially that would also explain why we're getting a lot of re-releases too, but yeah. Moving on to probably some of the best figures revealed, the Dino reveal figures. Again, these aren't anything super fantastic, but they're still really nice. It's honestly just the first wave of the Dino Tracker frenzy pack slash danger pack size dinosaurs, except for the baby Brachiosaurus. I think that's the only one that's missing. But yeah, it's Osteoraptor, Dilophosaurus, and Nothosaurus. I already have the Nothosaurus figure, but honestly, I would not be mad getting another one, especially since this one is blue like the actual Camp Cretaceous one. So yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the second wave of of the Dino reveal figures yet at all, which is kind of a shame. I have been wanting to pick up a few of those, but yeah. Wave 1 I didn't find too interesting. Wave 2 I thought had some good ones, but I still haven't seen those anywhere. It's like really weird. And then the Wave 3 figures I think are also really cool. I think the Dino reveal line is probably one of the better ones so far, since they're just re-releases and new resculpts that are not absolutely absurd. So yeah, again, I kind of hate the Osteoraptor model. I think it would have looked better feathered. Like, again, I know that they don't have to do like feathered raptors for every raptor variant, but Osteoraptor is just one of those ones that look really cursed unfeathered. So I feel like this one really should have been. I know we're getting like Deinonychus and Dromaeosaurus. I hope at least one of those are feathered. I would be okay if one of them's not. But Osteoraptor in the past should have been feathered. This thing just looks horrible without them. But yeah, the Dilophosaurus I think looks fine. I mean, pretty cool. I don't think I ever saw the Dilophosaurus figure in the stores. That's why I never even got the chance to consider picking it up. And then Nothosaurus, I saw like last seconds out of random Kohl's. Like, no, not Kohl's, Kroger's. Literally, they had one on stock, and that's the only time I ever saw the figure, and I picked it up immediately. So yeah, Nothosaurus, really happy he's getting re-released, because I think the first wave of the Dino Tracker kind of danger pack figures people kind of missed out on. At least I mostly, for the most part, kind of did. So yeah, Nothosaurus, really cool. Anyways, now we move on to the rumor stuff. All that is like things we have images of, so it's like official. First off, a gigantic Thrasher's Liopleurodon, which is really weird for two reasons. First thing, it's a Liopleurodon. And we already had a Liopleurodon, and of course they have been doing re-release, like resculpts of old species, which, that's not what I find weird about this thing. It's the fact that they chose Liopleurodon. Like, again, for a gigantic Thrasher. The old Liopleurodon was a Wild Roar figure, and if you know, like, the real-life size of Liopleurodon, Wild Roar is actually perfect for it. It's not like that giant monster from Walking with Dinosaurs. It actually was one of the more smaller plesiosaurs, I'd say. So yeah, they like it fit there perfectly. And if they really wanted to re-release one in a bigger size range, why not Kronosaurus? Kronosaurus literally was undersized. It was also a Wild Roar plesiosaur, except unlike Liopleurodon, Kronosaurus is actually one of the larger plesiosaurs, so it actually should have been a gigantic Thrasher figure right off the bat. So I don't know why they wouldn't release, if they're going to re-release one, do that one. Also, another option, they could have just done a completely new plesiosaur like Plesiosaurus itself, probably one of the largest plesiosaurs. I believe Plesiosaurus fungi. I don't know if this is outdated anymore, but I believe Plesiosaurus fungi still is considered the largest plesiosaur, at least if we're considering described stuff and not considering like fragmentary and undescribed things. So yeah, again, Kronosaurus I think is second. So again, it would have made sense to do one of those. If they wanted to do a re-release, Kronosaurus. If they wanted to do something new, Plesiosaurus. Liopleurodon makes no sense. Though, to be fair, if this figure at the very least kind of just looks like a really good-looking large generic plesiosaur, I'm just going to use this as a Plesiosaurus figure because I've been wanting a Plesiosaurus figure for quite a while, so honestly really cool. Now, another thing that makes this weird, that was just the first reason why this is weird. The second reason why this is weird is because we only get two waves of gigantic Thrashers, and we kind of had both waves confirmed. We had Wave 1, Wave 1 we already have images of and everything. It's that hideous Gorgosaurus and that pretty decent Stegosaurus. Wave 2, at least as of now, has been rumored to be Torvosaurus and Tylosaurus. So, are we getting a third wave? If so, what would be paired with it? Or are we just going to be getting a random Liopleurodon afterwards? Honestly, I would not hate them throwing in one more gigantic Thrasher, because honestly, I love gigantic Thrasher figures, and I love them even more when they're wearing reptiles, or at least semi-aquatics. Another configuration that this could possibly be is, again, these are rumored, so perhaps one of these is fake. And then there's also, of course, another possibility, Tylosaurus is not a gigantic Thrasher. This would, at least, this is the best case scenario, in my opinion. Tylosaurus ends up just being a regular large figure, which means it would be larger than a gigantic Thrasher figure, or it would just be a reimagined figure, so a really large rubber Tylosaurus. I think those are like the best case scenario. And the Liopleurodon re-release is the actual one going into the gigantic thrasher size range. Since again, we didn't have this is specifically stated to be a gigantic thrasher figure. The Tylosaurus is kind of unknown, but it's assumed to be. Since again, creatures larger, like creatures that basically the largest size range for creatures that are not movie creatures are the gigantic thrasher size range. And again, that's why many people, including me, assumed that the Tylosaurus was going to be released. It was going to be a gigantic thrasher figure, but there could possibly be a workaround for Mattel to be able to do it still, since Tylosaurus is technically soft canon, or at least it was considered soft canon, and now I don't think Jurassic Park the game is considered soft canon anymore. I believe it's actually now just considered non-canon. But if they could possibly still have it working as soft canon, since again, we got Troodon in the Jurassic Park, and a Hammond Collection figure, and it's basically somewhat based on the Jurassic Park the game design, so honestly, who knows. Again, last thing I'm going to mention, I know it's kind of still off topic, Tylosaurus. Again, I did a poll on what people want for the design the most, either like just basically a recreation of Jurassic Park game design or a few different other options. But again, another option I put on there was basically just accurate Tylosaurus with Jurassic Park the game kind of influences. And someone left a comment that really made me think about it and realized, like, realistically, we're not getting Jurassic Park the game Tylosaurus. If we are going to get, I think it actually is really likely we'll get a Tylosaurus with Jurassic Park the game influences on it. Like, again, like, just look at, for example, Troodon and Herrerasaurus. Neither of those were exactly the same as Jurassic Park the game design, because there would likely be copyright issues, since I don't believe they actually would have the copyright to make figures of those specific designs. So that would explain why we never get, like, designs that look perfectly accurate to it. Again, if, like, the Hammond Collection Troodon was a weird match between that design and, like, the Jurassic World Evolution / Live Tour design, and the original Troodon figure was just like an accurate Troodon with some influences / the colorations of the Jurassic Park the game Troodon. Herrerasaurus, the first release, actually originally had like the exact same colors as the Jurassic Park the game Herrerasaurus. In the actual final figure release, it was actually just kind of plain red, which again perhaps could have been due to copyright issues. So maybe something similar is happening with Tylosaurus, where they just have influences by it. That would also, again, since the kind of reimagined line supposed to be kind of influences from other parts of the franchise. I mean, I know it's supposed to be mainly the Kenner line, but honestly, Indominus Rex completely broke that, and also I feel like a few other figures like don't apply to that at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if they took influences of like just doing a regular Tylosaurus figure that's really big and rubbery, and they do take some influences from like the Jurassic Park the game design. Honestly, I think that'd be the best case scenario, a really big Tylosaurus figure, since yeah, Gigantic Thrasher could work for it, but it would realistically need to be bigger. So I think that would honestly be best case scenario. Also, I'm not going to get into this in this video since I've already been rambling for way too long, but personally I feel like this would, if it was a reimagined figure, it would really help out the reimagined line, because so far I feel like the reimagined line has not given us anything like actually good. I think the original Carnotaurus and the Indominus Rex were good. Everything else that we're getting for it just feels pointless. Like, we're getting an Indoraptor, which, like, why? It's not really having any influences from anything. I guess, like, I think I had someone comment that it looks somewhat similar to, like, the level 40 version of from Jurassic World the game, but if they're going to really do, like, a Jurassic World the game version, why not Indoraptor Gen 2? Or, and again, if they want to do influences for a lot of the other ones. For example, those new Velociraptors that came out. There's just, like, a random red and white Velociraptor. Why not give us, like, the Cyclops Raptor or something like that if we're really going to do it? If we're really going to be doing the reimagined kind of part of this toy line. Again, also the new Triceratops I think is actually pretty decent. Like, I definitely think it is pretty decent, but it's still just like another rubber Triceratops. Again, I actually don't think that one's bad. I'll probably add that to the list of ones that I don't think are horrible. But again, I think the 93 Classic line did the reimagined thing a little bit better than the reimagined line's doing so far. And also, we're getting that Giganotosaurus and Therizinosaurus set, which I feel is kind of pointless. Like, I feel like I could at least justify it somewhat if they at least fix the Giganotosaurus' head. They still have it with those stupid Indominus Rex teeth. So, again, I'm not going to kind of go on with this more, but I feel like adding in more new creatures and, like, actually giving them influences from, like, other parts of the franchise, like the Tylosaurus, could actually make the reimagined line better, because so far they haven't done that much. But moving on to the next rumored creature, it's Spinosaurus, which, again, this is rumored, but apparently we could possibly be getting a new Spinosaurus. I do want to mention that there was a image of a Baryonyx and Spinosaurus figure for the Jurassic World Survival line floating around for a while back, and I don't think that the Spinosaurus rumor is based off of that. At least if it is, then it's 100% fake, considering how that original image is just AI generated. Like, I'm not going to show the video, like, the image in this video, since I don't feel like even finding that image, but, like, it's, like, really, like, you can really tell. Like, I know the Jurassic World Survival line's doing some absurd stuff, but first thing, Mattel really ain't going to be just pulling out a few extra cents to paint the claws. That thing had fully painted claws. Also, the dew claw was literally sticking, like a completely wrong angle from the foot, and also had a painted claw. Like, again, if you look at the image, it's, like, clearly AI generated. So, again, I don't think, I'm really hoping it's not based off of this, and we're actually getting a Spinosaurus, since frankly, I will literally take a large theropod of literally anything except for freaking T-Rex. I'm tired of getting those. Again, it's already a crime that since they have to do a T-Rex every year and for some reason can't do things bigger than it's like can't do things bigger than Gigantic Thrasher unless it appears in like canon or something. We couldn't get any large Carcharodontosaurs like Carcharodontosaurus or Tyrannititan, and those guys got completely butchered and tiny. Same thing happened to Maplosaurus. I just, again, don't want another T-Rex and would really take anything, and a new Spinosaurus could be really cool. And like the Therizinosaurus and Triceratops, for example, I really would actually like to see these guys get a redesign. I know a lot of people don't like the non-canon redesigns, but personally I do. I just kind of don't like a lot of Jurassic designs and think it would be really cool to get new ones. Again, this Spinosaurus, honestly, there's two different scenarios. Like, it's either like the Rebirth one, or it's like just the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. If they're going to go with a canon design, I think it would be cool for them to go with the regular, like the old Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, since I think we do need a new sculpt to represent that Spinosaurus, since the old one's really outdated. But if we're going to be getting like a new Spinosaurus and it's going to be like reimagined, I would actually like a more paleo-accurate Spinosaurus. Kind of like to maybe use the Rebirth one as a base, and then just make it more accurate. Like, again, make it more elongate, giving it a more proper head, and then giving it like interesting color scheme. Like a color scheme that could be pretty cool is like the old Kenner Spinosaurus, for example. I know it would technically make it a reimagined figure, but still, I think it would have been cool to do something like that. Again, this is rumored. Again, take all of these like species that don't have any listings as rumored, because again, if it has a listing, then for sure, then I definitely would say it's like reliable. But again, these rumored ones especially, just take them with like a major grain of salt, like the Spinosaurus and Plesiosaurus, the Stomatosuchus, Triceratops, Metriacanthosaurus, and all the other ones I mentioned in my other video that didn't have listings. Those are technically rumored as of now. I should have mentioned that in my previous video, and these ones also are rumored. What do you guys think is going on with this lineup? Are we going to be getting like just more figures? I hope we're just getting more figures, and I hope some of them look better, because frankly, some of these suck so far. Like, again, the Reimagine line, I'm definitely starting to win me back with some of their species choice, but all they need to do is just not butcher them. Because there's definitely a lot of butchered figures so far, and Skelelitazor is honestly not helping their case as of now. So yeah, anyways, again, what's your thoughts on this lineup? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!